Hey everyone, welcome to the RC Groups live hangout and podcast. I want to right off the bat say thank you to our sponsor, Hobby King at hobbyking.com. Go check them out. They always have something new. In fact, well, I just heard somebody in my ears, but
what was that?
Yeah. Jason Cole, actually, I'm talking the second they have a new airplane. Let's say that they have a new airplane and I want to write a story about it. If I think about it, I have waited too long because Jason's like, I got any of them stories? And I'm like, damn, they're there. So Jason's got all the new stuff from Hobby King on RC Groups. They've been a sponsor of the site for a long time. And it feels like I might jump off and pontificate a little bit. But, today I spent the morning going through threads, trader talk, vendor talk, going all over the place, just looking for kind of what's going on out there. And it's interesting to me that some people are like, boy, I'm about to go somewhere. I don't even know what I'm about to say. So, Matt, you're kind of my conscious, you let me know when I've gone too far. So be sure and you can say whoa at some point. But
okay,
people are like, the hobby and the hobby is this and the hobby is that. And then maybe you lose a company that you love, a little mom and pop hobby shop. And they're like, oh, the hobby is dying or the hobby isn't what it used to be. But then as soon as somebody does something, they go, I see people jump on another company in a negative way. And I'm like, man, we got to support all the companies if we want the hobby to move into the future and forward and grow. And I got to tell you, okay, I'm going to stop right here. When I see somebody on RC Groups being a butthead, just to be a butthead towards a company, it not only makes me mad personally, it makes me upset for the hobby in general that they think that's cool or funny or something they should be doing. It just hurts all of us, Yeah,
and a lot of times those same people actually purchase from that company. So that's kind of funny, but they'll never say it.
And I don't know that I'm anyone to take advice from, but if you love the hobby, treat it like you love it, just like you'd treat your dog. Love it and love on it and take care of it, and it'll give all that back to you.
Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody.
I'm gonna get my dog right now.
It's a dog.
So Jason Cole evidently had to go to some sort of conference room somewhere. Are you at the Hyatt Regency?
This is my house.
I think he's at a lobby of a bank.
I still don't have a desk or a setup yet for that. So this is just, I've been working off of the kitchen counter, like at a bar.
So that's sakes, man, get a flower on your table at least back there. It looks a little sterile.
Dining room table. We don't have artwork anywhere. I mean, it's like, I've got boxes everywhere. I couldn't even find my microphone.
You got boxes of underwear?
My microphone is somewhere in this house, but I don't have it today. So we're getting there.
So this looks very lavish. Is this how your whole house looks? Is this like going from your old house to this house that you're finally in now? Is it like going to like a mansion and you walk around going, I can't believe I live here?
Yeah. I mean, it's not huge by those things. I mean, it's like 2,400 something square feet. It's not massive. It's not a mansion, but it certainly feels like it coming from like a 1,300 square foot condo.
Right.
Well, it sounds big because I can definitely hear the echo.
Yeah, I'm pumped, man. We love it.
Well, and how did your wife, when you guys finally moved in, did she cry or did you buy her flowers or dinner or something?
No, well, we had Publix is right around the corner, so we went to Publix, got some dinner.
Chicken.
God, I miss pecan rings from Publix, man.
Did you get chicken?
We got Neil Davis is calling me.
Oh.
I'll talk to you later, Neil. Yeah, we got the chicken.
I knew you did. Was it chicken fingers?
It was fried chicken.
Yeah.
Oh God, I love me some Publix. Everything. We don't have them up here. We have Giant Eagle. Ugh.
Oh yeah.
In Waco, we used to go to H-E Butt. H-E-B.
All right, H-E Butt.
Yes. Oh, and now we've really devolved. Hey, we got some live viewers coming on. Hey, listen, if you're a live viewer, someone go get that guy that just left. What the heck? There he is, and there he is. We better start talking about RC quick. They're dropping like flies, fellas.
I think
Matt
you spurred somebody. You spurred it on.
Do you have any new reviews going out?
I can't. I
last
just
week?
can't fly. I can't do a single thing. The weather was supposed to be really nice. Had a case of the spostas because it is not. It has just literally been socked in with rain and fog and wind and everything. I can't fly. I can't do anything.
But what about our other reviewers that you lead in the charge of reviewing? Anything
Yeah.
new from last week or this week?
I think so. We've got me and Joe's review. We've got, I'm taking a look here at all of the nice stuff that we have published. Oh, yeah, we got Mike McDougall's UMX Aero Commander up. I think we talked about that one already. So those are the reviews, the newest ones. And then obviously before that, it's the Grand Tundra and then our Futaba review, things like that. But things are changing. Airplanes are starting to come out more because of the season changing. It's now officially spring. We're going to see the reviews kicking up a lot more when people can fly. So a lot of us reviewers are north of the Mason-Dixon line, so we get snowed in. We don't have many Floridians or Californians anymore, for reviews.
And speaking of which, I was talking to Horizon Hobby just yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, one of the reasons I was out cruising last night and this morning was to find some sort of comment on the bid on Hobbico.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what I've gleaned, and this did not come from Horizon. I told them if they had any information they want to share or get out there, that I am ready to write the story. And they said that they were aware of that and they appreciated it. And they'd let me know when they had something to say. But I went to see what people were saying, our newspapers were saying. It looks to me like they were the bid and that the bid isn't solidified till next Wednesday.
Correct. And it's under the requested amount to start the bid. That's what
Right.
I heard. Yeah.
I still think that's the bid, though. It's not much under, right? It's
like 2 million under or something, a little bit more than that. I mean, it was 20. They put in 18. I'm just sort of throwing this off the top of my head. I don't remember the exact numbers.
There's like 18.5 or 2.
Yeah, something in that ballpark. So there's a lot of speculation whether what Futaba will do. People associate Futaba with being owned by Hobby King, Hobbico. And I know that's not the case. Futaba is their own company. They're just distributed solely by Hobbico. So what's going to happen in that regards? Some people are saying, oh, they'll go out of business before they let
No.
Horizon Hobby distribute them, but that's not the case. I mean, the two brands can coexist. They have for years. They both have very solidified places in the market. So I think they can both exist. And then someone said something, I saw something about how can a Futaba team pilot be owned by a Horizon guy? And I guess they could work all that stuff out. But the reality is that it could happen. They could own it. Futaba could go their own route and, just distribute themselves through Futaba America, or they could go with somebody else, like Chief Aircraft or someone like. I'm just throwing things out there. It could be anybody.
And there might be some sort of theory that people know what they're going to do, but I think it's just as easily that no one knows what's going to happen yet. Even from Futaba down. So,
Jason, what's your take on it?
I'm just like wait and see. I don't know what's going to happen. It's hard to speculate. You don't know who's going to do what. Futaba could create Futaba USA and be their own thing, and any number of things can happen. So it's kind of crazy. It's crazy times, right? To the two biggest companies, wanting to buy the other or salvage it. Who knows what they would do to it.
Even more interesting that they began as one company and then split into two companies and could possibly merge back into one company. It does make a lot of sense, really, if you look at it.
And they're so close together, and
right there down the street.
That hard, yeah.
Well, it only makes sense from a logistical standpoint, right? Just keep it right there in the same town. Have all the same people visiting back and forth. No more mystery Hobbico vans pulling up in the parking lot at Horizon Hobby. You guys remember that photo?
Right. Yep. If I worked at either one of those places, I might have to do that just for fun. Just, hey, it's lunch. Let's drive over to the other company on our way to Arby's.
Ooh, Arby's, yum.
So speaking of radio brands, I have some news that both of you won't be very happy about.
Uh-oh.
You're
Matt-
getting the IX12.
Yeah, I sent you a link. I sent a link to Matt. That's how he knows. The
You want me to pull that up?
IX12 is being shipped to me today.
What is it?
And I heard that only one other review has been done on this officially from Horizon at this point.
The new radio? No.
Yeah. So here's what I think, guys. I think I'll actually be able to podcast from my transmitter.
The field while you're falling.
That
Yeah.
is funny.
Yeah, so I'll be at the field. I was thinking what I would do though is when I get it and get to play around with it, my real question is what can I do with it, and what can I do with it, i.e., things that I personally would want.
Well, you can
out of
simply
something like that.
tap into it. That's what you can do.
Tap into the IX12.
Just tap it in.
I call it the Ix.
That's the title of your review.
Tap into the IX12. Tap into the IX.
You should have wrote simply tap into Ix.
Ix. My new best
Oh.
friend Ix.
Yeah, that would have been taking it to another level. Look at that. Spotify all up on the screen.
Wow.
Man, oh man. Intuitive programming. This is one powerhouse. I hate to use that one, but it's true. It's a powerhouse of a radio.
Well, that's going to be the trick. Taking on this is like taking on a simulator review.
Yeah, good luck.
It's going to be real tricky, and I'm going to keep my mind open and just go at it like somebody. I'm just like most of the people that would buy the X12. I've had nice radios and not super. I haven't had. Well, I had a DX18, so that was pretty nice, and I have a DX9 now. And
Here's what I find.
Yeah.
Doing high level reviews on these things sometimes is better than diving deep into every single function.
Yeah. No.
You do what the person that gets the radio is going to do first. You set up a new model, you set up some of the mixes, and you show some of the features, and you're done. Sounds like some what is all that noise?
Man, it's the air conditioner guy trying to call me.
I mean, doing a review on something that technical can take a month.
Yeah.
It's a giant 30 long page thinking article. I mean,
that's not going to happen. I don't
definitely
think it reads those 30-page articles.
Definitely open Spotify in the review, take a picture of your airplane, set it up, and go to town.
Yeah, I think it's video based in that I'm going to go through there and just show it functioning, and then show some of the stuff that I would personally use, and then how to set up an airplane and how easy or hard it is, and how to import an image of the airplane and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Can I take a picture with my phone of my bird, send it to some app on this transmitter, and then save that image as the image? That kind of stuff is what I'm curious about.
Yeah. So it's no secret that I love my Jeti DS4.
That's definitely not a secret.
So considering that, the IX12 is the only other radio like I would be interested in purchasing right now. It's just got so many cool, unique things that I would consider actually buying that radio.
You know what the problem is, though, is you're a Mac guy. Would you be able to make that OS jump?
Yeah, I can do everything. I mean, I can run Windows on the Mac too, so I can connect to it. But yeah, it's a cool radio. It's probably, there's probably things that Jeti can do that it can't still, but there's a lot of things that can do that a Jeti can't right now.
As long as you have some sort of random Star Wars startup sequence, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm excited to get my hands on it with Jim though and see what I think too.
All right. Well, we'll get it and we'll see what we think. So it was a single phone call, and here we are.
Booyah.
Did you guys see the new Mustang? I like to call them the Disgustang.
Ford's new one?
Yeah. What?
If you go to RCGroups and click the magazine button, you can look at that right now.
I
Right now
shall pull that up. Here we are.
I'm looking to make sure it's live. Yep.
It is.
I was dying for a story. That's another reason I was on the side. I was trying to find a dang
Jim,
story.
I saw this and I went to go make it, and I said, I know either Jason or Jim has jumped all over this. And Jim beat me to the punch this time.
I saved just the topic and the intro just so nobody else would start doing it at the same time.
Somebody call. Have you looked at your replies yet? Somebody call you out on your misspelling of.
Actually, that wasn't my misspelling. That's on the site.
Oh, nice! Wow,
fixed-
somebody got called out.
I fixed it in the article.
There we are.
Also,
Anyway.
I'm not a huge fan of this other post, but that's probably not a topic for a podcast.
FMS makes a night. That is called classic trolling, right?
Oh.
Anyway, I do like this.
Isn't that an FMS airplane?
What's
I
that?
don't-
Isn't this E-Flight plane built by FMS?
Yeah, I think that's what they're trying. He's trying to.
That would be it. Okay, then I do approve of that statement and am curious to find out more.
Yeah. And that's Horizon's been using, third-party
Mhm.
manufacturers for, decades.
Yeah, okay. I just didn't know that they split it out like that. Like,
Yeah, they don't manufacture anything. I don't say anything. They manufacture some random thing, but I can pretty certainly say that none of their airplanes are built and manufactured by Horizon Hobby. They've,
You're right.
they contract out with factories in China to have these things built.
So I do like this very unique design with the invasion stripes down the fuselage. It's
That is
totally a good looking aircraft. I like the propeller. One day, and I'm going to say this with all confidence, guys. One day, someone will make retractable tail wheels standard on these freaking airplanes. Somebody do it. Look at the mains. Beautiful. And look at the tail wheel. Bump, bump, ba-dum. Come on, man. Help me out here, guys.
wow.
Thank you.
I was waiting for
they're
the
not even
tail
showing
wheel.
it. It's just a terrible tail wheel. All of them are. And they don't retract. They don't do anything. They've scaled this thing out so well, and they always put that little tail wheel. Hang on. What?
They do steer. You said they don't do anything. I'm like, they do steer.
Yeah, okay. I mean, they do support the aircraft in the air, right?
This plane was modeled after Captain Ernest Fleckord, who became a top scoring ace during World War II.
Yeah.
Wow, that was like 30 G's that guy just pulled in that thing.
The power system features a high-speed brushless outrunner motor, a robust ESC, a scale 4-blade propeller that combined with your 2200 to 3000 milliamp 3S LiPo battery. That's an incomplete sentence. I'm going to work on that right now.
Anyway, it's a good looking plane, electric retracts. It's got, it just looks great. I like it, but it's another Mustang. And everyone knows how I feel. Everyone knows how everyone feels about more Mustangs.
No, listen, the Mustang's the number one airplane ever sold in the world.
I know. I am mad it's not a OV10 Bronco. That won't happen. Anyway, my point is
Fixed it.
Is that it's a good looking bird, and they did very well in recreating the mains, the tread there. Good looking propeller, even though it's not to scale, it's much smaller, but it still looks great. This is a great looking Mustang.
It's
for what it is.
So here's the cool thing. So when I was moving out, I had all my airplanes in the garage. It was kind of the last thing I moved because they were the most delicate, and I wanted to take care of that myself.
Oh.
So my neighbor popped over, and he's an RC car guy, and he's dabbled in planes, years and years and years ago. And he was like, I just, tell me about airplanes. I kind of want to get back into it. What's it like now? And so I was talking to him, and I was like, it's a whole lot easier these days.
And he just said, here, take this one.
Yeah. I mean, he could actually fly that airplane.
He could.
With his experience level, because of the safe technology that's built in is these things will now fly themselves when you need them to, and you can hit the switch and save it. You still have to learn what the controls do and, when to hit that switch and do it properly. But it's just getting into the hobby is a heck of a lot easier than it used to be. And people can be much more successful earlier, than used to. And you lose people to the hobby from crashing and getting frustrated and not wanting to spend any more money. And
especially a P-51.
Yeah. I mean, that's a P-51 that, a really low time pilot just after beginner and even beginner with someone helping them could actually fly and be successful with, which is crazy.
And a retail is $269.99, which seems to be kind of the number they've been shooting for lately. So
I was literally didn't even see the price, and I'm like, 249, 259. They're right at that 269. That's their magic sell price, right?
It's a good number.
It is. And there's always the purists out there that are complaining about AS3X and safe technologies, and that they're preventing pilots from really learning. That's not the case. Not the case at all. It's actually creating more proficient pilots that start off well without crashing, getting frustrated, and bailing on the hobby in general.
Our field is a great example of that. When you go to our field, you will see some really high-end airplanes, and you'll see a lot of Horizon airplanes, a lot of Hobby King airplanes. And Jason and I watch these guys. We stand next to them while they fly, and some of them fly great, and many of them crash often. And planes like this are what keep them coming back to the field, I think.
You know what other unique trend that is at our field that I don't know if this is the same way across the country or not? EDF jets. Large EDF jets. And we're not talking like Bob Violet, stuff. We're talking foamy.
Yeah. Dude, you can chalk that one up to the EDF jet manufacturers out there, FMS and all those guys.
That's right.
Well, they do it. I guess they found the secret sauce to creating these things in an affordable manner that fly well, right?
Yeah.
They fatten up the wing chord. They make it, they change little aspects of it, and they turn an inherently unstable design into something that flies extremely well and flies for more than 3 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. But they look really good too.
Yep. Take a look at that Phantom.
EDF kind of took off. And I'm not going to put it all on Mike Hines and Hobby Lobby, but who made the Huckbein, Jason?
Alpha.
So Alpha was really the first company I think that made really, I don't know, compared to today, how scale like foam EDFs that were affordable and not very big. So now it's like a whole new generation of large scale, even more scale looking EDF planes.
Alpha, what's it called? Huckbein.
Oh man, he had this Huckbein, and he took it to the Neat Fair, which is in a canyon, in the Catskills, and that thing screamed like a police siren. Share a picture, if you will. I'm sure it was a review.
A Huckbein is a German fighter jet, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's sexy.
Hold on. Here's the Alpha. Here it is. Here's the exact airplane. And give me just a second while I pull this thing up.
Hi. What can I do for you?
Well, we don't want that. All right, here it is. I keep saying that, and I'm not pulling anything up. Present, share, now. This thing?
There it is.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's take a look at it fly.
That's like early. That's probably a brushed motor inside, too. FYI. Oh, no, he's got a little jet screamer.
Looks like a 35 millimeter motor in there. A 60 millimeter fan. I'm all way off.
If you brought this plane back, people would buy it left and right.
I don't know, man. Something like this just came out on Hobby King, and people were poo-pooing it. They're like, this is a stupid design.
Yeah.
What?
Remember? You saw what just came out, Jason?
I don't know.
There's another Iron Cross design. This is one unique looking airplane.
I don't know.
It's like a pregnant fish.
Well, it had a lot of wow factor at Neat. I guarantee it. It might have won some sort of award. Speaking of Mike Hines, had him on the phone while I was making dinner last night, Jason.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
I got to get him over here to hang a door in my loft.
Man, that thing's fast, and this video isn't very good. Who does 480p in anything anymore?
I'm gonna look at
2010.
That doesn't matter. There's no excuse. All right, you guys get the idea. There's the old Huckbein. Stop. All right. So, yep, I'll take your point that EDFs are definitely popular right now. So I used to sell, we all do it. We sell our airplanes, and they're difficult to ship, which, by the way, I've gotten very good at making boxes, going to the local cardboard manufacturing company here in Cleveland, buying these huge 5x8 sheets of cardboard, and then now I can take a 2x4, lay it down, score it, and fold these things into boxes and ship giant airplanes relatively cheaply. However, the point of this entire story was that I sell a lot of things on Craigslist locally because it's so much easier. And there was this guy, every single time I put an airplane up, he would be like, y'all got any more of them EDF jets? And he'd always ask me over and over again, every single thing I put up, he would email me, do I have any EDF jets? And I'm like, stop emailing me, man. So they're very popular, like you said.
And none of us own one.
I know. Not right now. Do I have? Yes, I do have that EDF Kyosho Illusion.
Wow. I don't have one in my hangar right now.
My next airplane will be the F-18 from FMS. I think that's one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I found us a couple of things to look at. One is an unbelievable man riding quadcopter.
All right, you want me to pull that one up?
Yeah, man. And then I got a new vehicle for Joe Nall.
Is it that?
No, well, this would be the most awesome Joe Nall
I
vehicle.
would do it. I would totally fly this at Joe Nall.
Here we are. You guys we got to do the music too because it's very techno-y. Right?
Yes. Let me block this completely with these graphics.
If you fall into that prop, it's over.
I wouldn't fly. Never mind. That looks a little dangerous.
When I saw this, I was like, is this really real? And are those like game joysticks?
Holy moly. Those propellers would they would chop you into bits.
Yeah, you'd be dead.
They better like bolt him to that thing.
Does he have a seatbelt or anything? I don't think he's got anything strapped.
I think he's underneath all that stuff hooked to those joysticks is just a DX9.
Yeah. Well, watch, it flies by itself. So they obviously are flying it without him. He's like, I'm bad.
He's Russian.
He should wear a Kevlar suit. There it is. It was flying by itself.
Approximately 6 to 18 months. Boy, that's a big time frame.
Well, one of them had the prop guards on it, but you just can't fly that without prop guards. And a parachute. So that's the aircraft that you want to take to Joe Nall.
Now, this is the vehicle I want to drive at Joe Nall. Now, you're going to see this and you're going to think, I'm just going to let you think what you're going to think. And then you're going to have your mind blown.
Freaking Super B, man.
Check this out, y'all.
Do I need to go live with this one?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Just think if you're coming down the main drag at the Joe Nall.
Where is there a person in it?
Okay, now I thought there's got to be a little kid in there, right? And then I thought this is a work of art. So he's at a car show and he's going to park it.
It's camming.
And then watch this. I don't have a fire in this car. That's all I have.
There's a guy in there.
Full grown man.
Whoa.
And it evidently isn't easy to get out of that thing.
He has to lay down in it.
Holy moly. Look at this guy.
Wow.
This is the guy that I expected to crawl out of this vehicle.
It's like 6'3".
White sneakers and all, man. Look at this guy. How y'all doing?
I got to carefully lock the door.
Oh, he definitely should have put some different rims on it, or wheels on it, but that's just me. Like and share.
That's pretty insane.
Pretty cool. The craziest thing I've seen at Joe Nall were the Barbie cars. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yep. Hooped up.
Those guys ate so much dirt.
Oh my gosh, you can go to Joe Nall with these really great ideas of riding around on go-karts and things, and then you just get covered in dirt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just terrible. I mean, even in a golf cart with a full mask on the front, everything is covered in silt in the first 30 minutes of showing up to Joe Nall.
And really the shower, you take a shower to get the dirt off the outside, but it's also about getting the dirt out of your everything that you can at least.
You're right, man.
Your nose, and
Oh man, you're blowing dirt bugs for a week.
I wear a bandana, and I have seriously thought about bringing goggles to wear while I'm driving around.
They can't run those that water truck enough. That
Right.
poor guy runs that truck all day long on those hot days. And people, I just want to get behind it and like shout, just get soaked down by the water truck. You know that's some bacteria laden goo.
Oh,
It's right out of the lake. It's probably got whatever that one that goes up your
brain-eating
nose.
bacteria.
Yeah, that's it. So let's talk about the next show. Now we're on that topic. Toledo's coming up very soon, and there's a couple of companies that are noticeably absent this year. You guys know which ones they are?
no.
SIG is not going to be there for the first time since Toledo started. Now, this is all what I heard on the forums from somebody looking at the vendor list and not seeing their names, so that could change. But SIG is not going to be there. It looks like Castle Creations is not going to be there.
Mm?
And that, and again, I could be wrong, but I don't think it is if they're not on the list. And then there was another one too. And let me pull it up real quick. I'll tell you what the guy said. Here we are. Weak Signal Show. Someone said what to expect. And of course, you know, when somebody goes, what to expect? I've never been there before. You get everything. And the main thing is it's not what it used to be, right?
It's gassy.
Well, okay. Here's the companies that this man said are not on the vendor list: SIG, Sonictronics, High Tech, Castle Creations, and then he just said, and many others. So I find it hard to believe that High Tech's not going to be there. I thought Curtis and Mike Mayberry go to everything, right?
I tell you what, I don't think you can go off that list.
Well, I'll know when I get there, guys, and I'll report back and let you all know who isn't and who is going to be there. But we're going to see.
And I went through the list myself one by one last week and just looked at everyone that was going to be there. And there were some people I did not think were showing up that were definitely on that list. But then I saw some companies on the list and their website didn't even work. So at that point, I was like, I don't know what to think here. So I don't know.
Well, we'll be on site Friday and Saturday reporting, so that'll be good. And it should be just as going as it was last year, right?
Well, you know what? I'm just going to say, I don't know. I'm editing myself before words come out of my pie hole.
It's
here.
all good. Just say it.
Well,
say what you're thinking.
A trade show's cool and you get some hands-on touchy-feely and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But just like mom and pops stores are kind of now on, you go to Amazon first. And so I think the internet definitely has changed the whole hobby, and it certainly would change a trade show. I mean,
4 years ago,
Yeah.
4 years ago was the last of the announced new products only at Toledo, right? Because
right.
then they started doing it online a lot more and on Facebook and such. But there were a few times that new releases were only done at Toledo, and the last one was 4 years ago. I remember that.
And that was kind of the difference is if you wanted to know what was new, you had to go to Toledo, but that's not really the case anymore. And
Right.
that could be a big deal. I do know that I was talking to Robart just a few days ago, and they have some new things coming out. And so we're taking a trip to their booth. And I was talking to Horizon, like I said, yesterday, and we're headed over there first thing Friday to see what's going on. One interesting thing, Matt, is that I saw Hobby King on that list.
I know that is very, very interesting. I hope it's not like at Jonal where it's just the guys standing around, not really having any products, but flying and stuff like that. You know, I hope it's actually some new products and some airplanes on display and things like that.
I'll be curious. I've never seen them at a trade show like this before, but it would be great to have them there to go, see what's up and hang out a little bit, but we'll see. I mean, who knows? It's at this point, it's a list. It's not real till you walk in the door on Friday or Thursday night.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder what it says about either Toledo or Hobby King that they have never done Toledo weak signals before, and now they're doing it. So they either see some value in it and they want to move out, or they're expanding their horizons and stuff like that. No pun intended.
Were they? Do trade shows translate into sales? I can tell you that every year I ask certain people that are good friends of mine how they did. And some years they just break even. I know some vendors that are now, some of the people that go to that trade show are kind of localish and kind of retro type of RC companies. And I know those guys don't do that well when there's a huge trend like quads and every booth has a quad in it. But the quads kind of peaked. We were talking about this the other day. I was talking about last Christmas how the amount of quad companies was so huge and the whole market kind of went negative, or not even negative. It went neutral because so many people were creating the same thing that it was hard to get the money back out of it again. And so one thing that I would love for you guys that are listening to the podcast or with us live, what is the next thing? Jason Cole and I were talking about it, and we were talking about the next thing should be an hour-long LiPo or lithium type battery that would give you an hour of flight time. That would be a great product that would talk to every part of the hobby: cars, boats, planes.
Yeah, not just that hour-long flight time, but also the wattage, the voltage to go along with it. I mean, Li-ion does pretty well in terms of longevity for flight times, but it just doesn't have the punch that lithium polymer has. So it's got to have the punch of lithium polymer and the lasting gas tank, if you will, of Li-ion. I think then you have it, right?
I am blown away that we haven't moved on to a new battery technology, especially with the cell phone market and things like that. How do we not have the killer battery? Somebody hasn't figured that out yet.
Well, I think the newest one is all this graphite stuff, right? They've been doing, and I'm thinking from what I've seen is that, but it's too expensive to reproduce right now. So
they're expensive, and it's just not a good enough leap. It's not much. They're not lighter. They're not, more capacity. It's not the technological leap that we're really needing at this point in time.
I'm looking at the live chat, and they're talking about multi-rotors in there, and it's not like multi-rotors are gone, because sometimes we're just throwing spaghetti on the wall right now, guys. But you think, boy, multi-rotors peaked and now they're gone. But then you go to the site. I go to the site and I look at who is where in the forum, because they could be anywhere from old timers to the multi-rotor talk section. And the multi-rotor section is always one of the hottest sections. But Matt Gunn, I was looking at a boat section yesterday and 123 people in it.
Is that a lot or a little?
Yeah, 123 people is not a little. Now, a lot.
That's because it's spring. The boating season is picking back up. And that's where you were talking about companies that do well at Toledo and don't do well. A company that does extremely well, and I've asked him year after year, and he says they're just selling everything they have, is Zip Kits and Joe Petro, one of our advertisers. Right. They do really well there. They sell everything they sell a lot of things. People are lined up to shut up and take my money, if you will. Well, this is for wood kits.
It's just kind of mind blowing. So like what you're looking at there, if you go to the site, this is pretty interesting. And I actually have companies call and say, what's happening right now? And I'm like, well, let's get on the website and let's talk while we're on it. Mm-hmm. And what I'll do is go and look at sections of the site. So a lot of people this is a 2-hour window that you're looking at, and people that are in a section at that time. Like multi-rotor talk, I'm not looking at it right now, but it could have from 600 to 900 people in it at any one time. That's a lot of people, because there are forums out there, major forums, who might only have 567 people on the whole forum at that very moment. And so when you look at RCGroups, I'm now bragging about the site, and look at how many people were in each section. And then you compare that to any other web forum. We have single sections that blow away a whole website. It's pretty mind blowing. So,
you know why it's like that, right? Good moderation. Our moderating team is top notch. We keep it family friendly, but we let you explore the boundaries a little bit.
It's too bad they're liberals.
Some people are like, you're such a liar.
No, I'm joking. Everyone says the moderators are Democrats or they're Republicans. And political leanings. I don't even know if we have political leanings. I'm pretty dang neutral, man.
I figured out our moderators they're not either. They're just robots. They literally read the rules and they enforce them to the T.
Yes, it's robotically.
It is
moderated at this
robotic.
point.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Ever a person, if you report a post, a real live person will go and read it and look at it. And we have been trained in the rut of moderation, i.e., there are certain things that fly and don't fly when you moderate. And we've been doing it I've been doing it for a decade as far as going in and looking at posts like that. And so anyway, yes, a person looks at everything. Also, I like public school and I like guns. So really,
I have talk about devolving.
well, I'm just saying, as a moderator, you could say I'm totally one way or another way, and I moderate by coming in. If somebody's like, I think this should have been warned or this shouldn't have been warned, then I'll go in and make a call. But I really have feet in every political ditch. So that's all
you
I'm
should. As you should.
yeah.
Hey,
So
I want to bring it back to the drone companies.
yeah, okay.
Thank you for
Multi-rotor mainly going out of business. But I just wanted to say there's a blue million people out there making drone frames and drones, right? It's like anybody with a CNC router and cutter and CAD skills can design, make their own frames and create a business and start selling them. There are thousands of places to go buy drones and parts and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's a super saturated market at this point. So it's going to be really tough. You know, the market size is so big, who knows how big that is. But if you got a million companies in there coming in trying to sell stuff to that same group of market, you know, some are not going to do so well and they're going to go out of business. And that's just part of capitalism and how it works. But, you know, I think the industry as a whole is still growing greatly. But I think there's way too many people making frames right now. I think it's tricky.
You got that right.
For those, I mean, I'm not in that business. It doesn't matter. But I mean, it's like if you're thinking about getting in the drone business and making frames for people, it's not an easy thing to do. It may be easy to get started, but to create a successful business out of that with how many are out there already, it's really tough.
Yeah, there's so much more to it than just cutting frames, right? I mean, the marketing aspect of it is huge, and you've got to have a catchy name. You've got to have catchy frames. You've got to have good pilots testing your products and putting them through some serious R&D. And then when you start selling them, you've got to market it well. And a lot of companies that didn't do that are the ones that have already closed shop.
And then that frame is obsolete in 6 months. And then you have to create a new frame.
Yeah, and half of these people are doing them as a side business. It's not the primary thing.
Right.
It's just interesting how it's, you know, blown up to this size and level. But
now, could you imagine if what we're talking about right now happened in the fixed wing market for actual model airplanes? That would be huge. Yeah, it's happened a little bit in the past. There's plenty of small companies out there, but if people had the ability, you know, you say a CNC cutter and some AutoCAD skills or whatever, if they had the ability to make molds like that and produce some really cool airplanes, if the molds weren't $100,000 for one mold, that would be amazing. Talk about all sorts of airplanes out there to play with.
Well, and one thing we didn't touch on is all three of us were kind of quad crazy, and that's all we talked about for a long time. And all three of us have gone back to flying airplanes.
Yep.
I think we just got saturated ourselves.
Yeah.
You're right.
If you feel like you're in that place where you're maybe getting tired or burnt out on whatever it is that you're doing hobby-wise, take a break from that segment. There's so many things you can do. There's sailplanes and gliders and jets and, you know, all these things that you can play with and enjoy. Try something different. You know, you might fall in love with something you didn't even think you might. So,
well, that's exactly what happened to me. And I feel kind of guilty sometimes. I think the profile guys think I abandoned them. But after stick building and building and building and building and flying and building, and like I flew every day before I went to work for years. And I burned out full on. And then I got the first DJI quad, and bang, man, all of a sudden I'm into that. Then I'm into FPV. Then I'm trying to figure out all that stuff. And that totally turned the hobby back on for me, I think.
Or you could do like Matt Gunn did and get a Grand Tundra.
Oh yeah, that Grand Tundra is a hot rod.
Show everybody your Grand Tundra tattoo that you got last weekend.
Yeah. It says HKGT for EVA.
Heart. It's in a heart.
It is. Mama didn't love me, but it says Grand Tundra instead. I don't know. Good plane. I'm curious to see the next aircraft that they come out with. So something big is going to pop this summer. I know that I can say this without saying what it is, but before the issues with I unplugged my thing here. Hold on.
Oh, we can still hear you though.
There we go. Before the issues with Hobbico were publicly announced, they had an aircraft, a big airplane that they were going to release, and I think they put it on hold. I want to see that airplane at Toledo this year, so I'm hoping it's going to be there. I really am. Maybe that'll be the official announcement to bring this sort of back live, live announcements and not digital.
Scott, I'm talking to Scott in the live chat.
Oh, sorry.
I'm happy to answer any guitar questions, maybe after the show. But so airframes did last forever. I'm talking like a decade, like in the 80s/90s. I had lots of airplanes that the airframe didn't expire. It wasn't old next year.
Yeah.
But the flip side to that, if you go to our field, the guys now they do tend to show up with the latest thing. That is true, but they also tend to always bring out. I mean, they'll fly this hot plane, but by the time everyone's relaxed and just flying around, they're back to flying their old standards, and that tends to be a Tundra or just planes that you and I know and love.
So is he saying that the airframes nowadays don't last physically?
Oh, that's a great question.
I mean, that's not true. I don't think that that's true. That's just my talking. I had a 10-year-old T-28 that Park Zone that flew all the time. I mean, I flew the freaking. I made the wheels smaller. I made the foam smaller. That's how much it flew.
Yeah, I think he's talking about from a business perspective.
Understood. I got you.
Right? So you come out with a T-28 in the springtime, and you better do another version of it by the fall with a different color scheme, and all this stuff to keep people coming to it instead of that lasting a year or two or more.
But you don't even hear much about the giant scale Carbon Z T-28. Was it a Carbon Z?
Great airplane though, huh?
Yeah, but what is it even produced anymore?
Yeah.
No one talks about it. I haven't seen anything about it in a year and a half.
Let me ask you this. Maybe foam is a deciding factor on longevity of an airframe. I mean, all the planes in the 80s and 90s certainly weren't foam. They were all wood and balsa. And if you broke them, you could glue them back together and put some more covering on it.
Same with foam, though. You can glue it back together pretty darn easily. In fact, I've glued airplanes back together that would have been a write-off, in my opinion, without taking off the covering on a balsa plane and starting to glue back ribs. I've taken some foam tack and pushed a piece right back on there and flown it again. I don't know. That's my opinion. Obviously, your mileage may vary, but I think that the foam airplanes are pretty darn durable and they can last.
It just reminded me of back in the day when I was getting into glow gas-powered airplanes and stuff. And at the field, we had a guy that would, his engine would die mid-flight or something, and he would crash and rip out the landing gear or something crazy. And he'd just go over and jump and just stomp that airplane.
Oh, I know a guy that did that.
Anything like that before? Is that like common?
No, I only know one person that's ever stomped a plane, and it was a big thing in the giant scale world a few years ago. You remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, it was a big, the Pro Bros did it like 15 years ago. It was kind of a Jimi Hendrix type of deal.
Oh,
sure.
You remember? I said, we got to, if Jimi Hendrix burns guitars, we should stop our planes. I personally could never bring myself to do it, but Paul Swanee certainly did it in Memphis.
Yeah.
That's also the year that they caught that airplane on fire and the AMA went 6 kinds of crazy.
Yep. Did you guys? So do you know what video? You've seen that video where where he stomps the Red Wing plane because he just didn't like it.
Oh, yeah.
The Red Wing biplane, and everyone was like, "Oh, how could you do that?" And of course, 90% of the people were like, "I would have taken it off your hands for free and flown it." I guess that's not the point. He wasn't happy with the way it flew.
It had to die.
Obviously, didn't hurt his wallet much to stomp this $1,000 plus investment or whatever it was, and just, I mean, foot down right on the middle of the top of the wing, straight
That was
through.
a stinker.
Yeah, that was.
And then, speaking of foam airplanes,
Turbos out.
Hey Jim, your microphone's doing that problem again.
oh no.
Yeah.
Well, y'all better keep talking then.
Oh, it's bad. Well,
Silencio.
oh, big time problem.
Muting.
It's 3:51. We got 9 minutes. If you can't pull out 9 more minutes of talking. Oh, good. He muted it. He muted it.
In the RCGroups podcast.
Yep. So, did you move far away from where you are? My point being, is there anywhere to fly near you, Jason?
It's about 15 minutes. I'm closer to one field. There's a area across, like I walk across the road, and there's a place to fly, DLGs and stuff. And there's a school just right around the corner with a nice big field I can go to. So yeah, pretty primo places to fly. So I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can pull my window out in my loft and fly a drone out the window, check out stuff, come back, fly back in the window.
Yeah, it's the thrills of living in a semi-undeveloped neighborhood, right?
That's right, living the dream.
Yeah. So, Jay,